So why do you have potential? Like you're a kind of guy, you feel like you are not dumb, right? You feel like you're competent. You feel like you speak well. You feel like you are pretty intelligent. Like you know, have the qualities that you honestly see in other people. You see other people that are like stupid, that are like, not that impressive. They don't even speak that well, but somehow they seem to have way more success than you. And this is something that I'll bring right back to myself, because these videos I make, guys, I'm not honestly talking to you guys. I'm more so talking to myself and sharing the thoughts that I have with myself. These walks are like little mirror reflection walks for myself, but I hope that they help for you as well. And that's why I'm sharing them. Anyway, myself, I've always seen myself as highly competent, as very high potential. I did very impressive, quote unquote, things when I was very young, 18, 19, made, just under 2 million before turning 21. But besides that, I've also, if I compare myself with some other people that I know, that I see, I'm like, hey, I could have done way more. Because after that, like I said in other videos, I kind of fell off. And anyway, sometimes I see these other people and I'm like, well, damn, these guys do not seem smarter than me. Honestly, doesn't seem like they're necessarily that much harder working. Doesn't necessarily seem that they're that's more competent. And makes you wonder, why do I have all this potential, but I'm not actually as successful as someone? Like a friend of mine told me, like, dude, when I speak to you, and this happened at multiple points in my life. Look at these little Christmas lights. That they told me, like, when I speak to you, you're so wise, you're so deep, you're so confident, you're so intelligent. You have all these qualities, but like I know other guys that are like way less impressive. Like if you put side by side, people would think from you like, oh shit, this guy is fucking an elite performer. And the other guy, like, oh, he's not that impressive. But the other guy would have way bigger results for whatever reason. And the reason for this, if you ask me, is because potential isn't nothing. Potential doesn't mean anything unless you actualize it. And actualizing it honestly comes down to also not identifying too much with all that potential that you have. A lot of people say, hey, believe that you can do it, believe that you are the best, believe that you already have all the things and whatnot. But to me, that belief has also done me a disservice at many points, because many points I started like being someone who was not achieving those things, but I would just delusionally, bathe in the success stories in my head, because I'm like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. But you gotta just as much believe in the fact that it can also not work out. If you always just have this belief of like, yeah, everything's gonna work out, everything's gonna be okay. For some people, they might say like, oh, that's manifestation, that's good. But at the same time, you gotta think about it like, well, listen, sure, manifestation, sure, positive thinking, all that. But at the same time, you got to be aware of the fact that, like, dude, if you don't put your back into it, if you don't actually stay consistent, if you don't choose one thing, if you don't put in the work, if you don't focus, if you don't do all those things, then it might just not work out. And that's a very real possibility. You got to get real with that. You got to get real with the fact that, like, just as you believe in yourself, just as you feel like you have all this potential, you also have the potential to do fucking jack shit. And time goes super fast. And I know everybody says that and it's super cliche, but it does. And therefore, you gotta also have the belief of like, hey, if I don't actually move into being the person who's deserving of success, right? Meaning actualizing that potential, then nothing's gonna happen. Because look, having potential just means like, okay, you could do things like you have raw talent, you have raw ambition, like whatever it may be. But, you still got to become the person that actually is able to do something with that. And what that means is just actually looking at who would I be if I already had the success, right? Because now it's just potential, right? Potential success. But if I already actually had the success, then who would I be? What would I do? Etc. Right? And from there on, you'll get some answers and you'll see where you're dropping the ball. Because everything, and absolutely everything, is your fault. Like, I'll be the first to say it. I chatted to a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about a certain business thing that was going on. And me talking about, hey, this is where someone dropped the ball, whatever. And this guy honestly said to me, and this guy honestly has done way less in his life than me, but you got to drop your ego. And, you know, anybody can be a mirror for you, even a homeless guy in the street, you know? Doesn't matter where they're at. The guy said to me, yeah, and whose fault is that? He said it in a non-threatening way. He just said, like, yeah, bro, be honest with me. Whose fault is that? And it is mine. And when you're very smart and when you have a lot of potential, it's also very easy for you to rationalize everything, overthink everything, and to try to find the best option for everything, instead of just being nice and stupid, good old stupid, and just be dumb as fuck and just do it, you know? Honestly, being stupid as fuck, being dumb is an asset, a massive asset, because intelligent people will overthink things. Intelligent people will, you know, really try to reinvent the wheel when there is absolutely no reason to do so, right? I find myself doing this every single time I get into a new business, get into a new thing, and I'll first analyze the shit out of it, and I'll first start looking at, hey, where can it all be done better? What can we change? The first thing I'll focus on is like, oh, we'll completely change up the marketing. Oh, we can do this completely different. We can do this completely different. Completely reinventing all these things to make it special, to make it better, to innovate, to make it new. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just not the first thing that you want to focus on. It's not the first order of business. The first order of business at all times should be follow the proven roadmap and shut the fuck up and just literally do whatever works. It is being done like that for a reason, right? So you copy paste, you let your ego slide. And even when at the times where I was doing $100,000 a month, guys, like, I still, for some weird reason, thought that I knew everything better. Thought that I was like, oh, you know, so we use these strategies, but then I use this extra thing here, which makes it different and whatever. And to be frank with you, that all sounds great in theory, of like, oh yeah, I'm creating this competitive advantage, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing it different. But often enough, there's a reason that things are being done in a way, and that is because it fucking works. And if it works for someone else, it'll work for you. And my point with that is that, obviously, if you want to get extreme results in the sense of, you know, a unicorn company or like whatever, then obviously you need to do something different, right? But if you want to just get to 30, 50K a month, 100K a month, even honestly, I'm probably going to say 500K a month. And I've never been there, but I have been at close to 200. Okay. Probably more so like 150. Revenue a lot higher, but I'm just counting profit. Anyway, that being said, if you want to get there, guys, there's absolutely no fucking need for reinventing any wheel, let alone a whole car. All you need to do is follow and copy what is working. Be nice and stupid. Don't overthink things. And literally just take one foot in front of the other and keep walking. And then as you go, you can potentially include new, more complex things. As you go, you can potentially add new things and be creative and start having your mind wander a little bit of like, hey, 20% of my time I'm going to put into innovation, 20% of my time and my mental focus I'm going to put into thinking about, hey, how could we change things, do things different? But I've even seen some friends of mine, really, really good entrepreneurs, go into certain spaces and basically go into that space, even though I know how much money they got, how much competency they got, that they could do every element of this business themselves. and they go into this new space and they still just first copy what already works, copy what is already successful there. And after that, maybe introduce a new thing after they made that work to the same level, to the same extent. And that to me is the formula, guys. And stop overcomplicating it. And as I said, I'm mostly speaking to myself in these videos with the things that have helped me and the things that I have done wrong and fucked up, and mostly the things that have caused me millions and so much pain and so much time, especially. So the bottom line is, stop looking at your potential and start considering that you ain't shit and that all that potential that you have doesn't count. Because if you're counting that, it's like a guy who's running an e-commerce business counting revenue instead of profit, like I just mentioned earlier, right? You're not dealing with reality. You're already giving yourself a dopamine spike for some bullshit that you didn't do yet. And being that guy with potential goes away real quick, guys. Because you can be that for like a year, maybe 2 years, but then you're 20 and now you gotta have something to show for, okay? And for me personally, I did well in that time. And like I said, fell off after that because I was like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I've done this. But, you know, then I started identifying with shit that I did, you know, a year ago or whatever. And nobody cares. And especially you shouldn't care what you did a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever. Or especially what you haven't even done yet. You gotta start actually looking at getting things in the real world, making shit happen in the real world. And forget about the potential that you have. Forget about, you know, oh, it's gonna be all right. I'm gonna do these things. I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. Believe just as much in the fact that, like, listen, if you don't really make a choice to make it, then it might as well. It's just as likely to all not happen, to not succeed. And that belief will keep you in check, keep you on the straight line from A to B, from where you currently are to your success. And combine that with bringing the person that you would be if you already had the success into the present, and you're gonna be well on your way to succeed. So keep measuring, keep counting every day, keep looking at how much is on the scoreboard for real, and keep yourself in check. Hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next one.